Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. For today's episode, I am going to show you how I made this half circle skirt. So this skirt doesn't have any zipper or elastic. If you don't have a pattern yet, I have a tutorial on how I made that. I'm going to have the link up here in the info card or at the end screen. So after you watch this video, you can go ahead and check that out. This is the same pattern I used for that full circle skirt that I made a few weeks ago. So I'm just going to alter this a little bit. I'm going to bring down the waistline about 2 inches from the top here. Since my fabric is not straight because it was a leftover from a previous project, I'm going to use the selvage edge here as my guide to figure out if it's straight. So I kind of place the pattern against the selvage, just like this, and I'm just going to pin it to secure. Since the pattern I made has allowances already, I'm not going to add any more. And on the waistline, I'm going to bring it down so it doesn't really matter if I add an allowance or not. And I will do the exact same thing I did for the back panel. So you will need 2 pieces of fabrics. You should have 2 pieces of fabrics. As you can see, the waistline is very small, so I will have to alter it a little bit. By the way, you guys, this is why it's called a half circle skirt, because if you place the fabrics together, you will have a half circle. Now it's time to adjust the waistline. It's obvious that it doesn't fit me unless I have a 15 inches waistline. Since the fabric I'm using is a stretchy material, I don't really need to add any allowances because obviously the fabric will stretch. I'm going to place it like this, and I'm going to pin the side seams together so I can cut the waistline or I can adjust the waistline altogether. So now I am going to measure in 2 inches from the waistline just like this. So right around the curve. And then I measured it just to make sure that it will fit me. Looking at it, I know for sure that it will not fit me. So I trim off another half an inch. So you basically want your waistline to be at the same measurement as the waistline here. Don't add any more allowances because the fabric will stretch. So don't worry about the allowances. So my waistline was 24. So I cut the waistline at exact 24 because like I said earlier, the skirt will stretch or the waistline will stretch. Now it's time to sew the side seams. So I'm basically just going to sew a straight line from the waistline down to the hemline. After that, I am going to sew a stay stitch all the way around, about quarter of an inch away from the raw edge. This step is optional because the fabric is already stretchy. So yeah, it's totally up to you if you want to do this step. I was just like testing if it's going to be the same result if I added it or not. I will be using a stretch stitch, so when I stretch the skirt, the threads will not pop. The next step is I am going to make the waistband. So I use the same method. I use this ribbon as my guide. So this ribbon is 2 inches wide, so I want the band to be 4 inches wide. So I basically just divide my waistline in half, and then I place that measurement onto the fabric. And I forgot to mention I added a quarter of an inch allowance. And be sure that the stretch of the fabric is going this way. So when you put it on, it will give you the maximum amount of stretch. Now I am going to sew it from here. This is going to be the back seam. To make it easier, make sure you quarter the skirt and the waistband so you can easily match up the notches. By the way, you guys, I have an announcement to make. I finally made a Facebook account. So I am on Facebook now. You can follow me there at Sew Aldo Official. We can all connect there, especially if you don't have an Instagram account. That will be a good place for us to kind of tag our pictures and talk about our projects. So yeah, I'm excited to see you on my Facebook page. Again, it's called Sew Aldo Official. So yeah, see you there, guys. Next, I am going to sew it all the way around. I will be sewing right under the stay stitch, and I will also be using a stretch stitch for this. On the clip here, as you can see, I am doing a straight stitch. I totally forgot to replace the foot, so I ended up doing this, and then I realized after halfway done, I realized that I was doing a straight stitch. So I ended up stopping and redoing it. After that, I am going to grade the curve lines. So I'm basically just going to make small cuts as close to the seam as possible. It will just release the tension around the curve area. So I'm just doing it where the curves are. Now it's time to finish the waistband. I'm just going to fold it like this and then fold it one more time. Basically, I'm going to sandwich all the raw edges inside the band and I'm going to pin it all the way around. And then I'm going to top stitch it. In my other tutorial, I actually did a ditch stitch, but this time I'm just going to do a top stitch. I just want to see which one looks better and which one I prefer the most. And here I am just doing a straight stitch, and as I sew I am going to lightly stretch the fabric so it will have that little stretch, so when I put it on the thread will not pop. You also want to make sure that you are sewing or you are catching the fabric at the back as well, so make sure you constantly check on the back of the band. And this is what it looked like. Now all I have to do is finish the hemline and the skirt is done. So this is the final product and I really love how it turned out. As you can see, if you have a pattern already, it is so much easier to make a circle skirt. Just a little tweaking here and there and you will have your very own half circle skirt. I actually prefer a half circle skirt over a full circle one. The reason why is the full circle, when the wind blows, it's going to be a showstopper. It's just not practical when it's a windy day. Thank you so much for watching and I hope this tutorial is helpful to you. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And you guys, it's free to subscribe to my channel. So if you feel inclined, be sure to subscribe to my channel and I will see you soon. Bye!